There are places in this world that should never have existed. Places where the very essence of humanity was stripped away, replaced by something far darker. Unit 731 was one such place. A place where death was not an escape, but merely the beginning of something far worse. During the chaos and bloodshed of World War II, while the world's attention was focused on battles fought in open fields and cities torn apart by bombs, a terrible secret was hidden deep within the heart of Imperial Japan. Officially, Unit 731 was described as a water purification facility, a mundane, almost harmless name designed to mask the horrors that lay behind its gates. But the truth was far more sinister. It was a factory of horrors, a laboratory of death. Imagine a sprawling compound, surrounded by tall fences topped with barbed wire. Guard towers stand like silent sentinels, their shadows stretching across the frozen ground. The air is thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the occasional sound of boots crunching through the snow or the faint cries of someone in pain, carried by the wind. The gates of Unit 731 were not just the entrance to a facility, they were the threshold to hell itself. They came in silence. Prisoners of war, civilians, even children. Their fates were already sealed the moment they stepped off the trucks that had brought them here. The convoy arrived under the cover of darkness. Military trucks rolled through the gates, their engines growling like beasts. The prisoners were herded out, their faces pale with fear. Some clutched onto loved ones trying to stay together, while others stared blankly, as if their minds had already given up. A young boy, no older than 10, clung tightly to his mother's hand. His small fingers trembled as he whispered,
"Where are we? Is this home?"
But there was no home here. A soldier barked an order, and the boy was ripped from his mother's grasp. She screamed, her voice raw and desperate, as two guards dragged her away.
"Please,"
she cried.
"He's just a child."
Her pleas fell on deaf ears. For the scientists of Unit 731, these people were not human. They were marutas, logs of wood. That was the term they used to describe the prisoners. Logs to be cut, burned, and discarded. To the prisoners, the nightmare was only beginning. The experiments conducted at Unit 731 defied comprehension. They were not acts of science, but of madness. Imagine being locked in a room, cold and sterile, with walls that seem to close in on you. A group of men in white lab coats stands around, their faces emotionless, their eyes cold. They speak in hushed tones as if discussing the weather, while you are strapped to a table, unable to move. Prisoners were deliberately infected with diseases, plague, cholera, anthrax. Their suffering was meticulously documented. Every agonizing moment reduced to mere data, scribbled into notebooks. Some were locked in chambers where the air was slowly sucked out, their bodies crushed under immense pressure. Others were exposed to extreme temperatures, their skin blistering and peeling away as they screamed for mercy. And then there were those who were injected with unknown substances. Their veins burned as the chemicals coursed through their bodies. Some convulsed violently, while others simply stopped breathing. For the scientists, it was all just an experiment, a means to an end. But for the prisoners, it was agony beyond comprehension. Of all the horrors committed at Unit 731, none were as cruel as the vivisections. Prisoners were strapped to operating tables and cut open, alive. No anesthesia, no mercy. The idea was to study the organs in real time, to see how the human body reacted to certain conditions. The scientists would watch intently, taking notes as the prisoner screamed in pain. One scientist, his hands stained with blood, murmured to himself as he worked.
The heart rate slows after 3 minutes. Subject remains conscious. Fascinating.
The screams echoed through the hallways, but no one came to help. No one ever came. For the scientists, this was not a person on the table. It was just another log, another experiment, another number in their research. Even the soldiers who worked at Unit 731 were not immune to the horrors of the place. At night, the facility came alive with whispers and shadows. Some soldiers claimed to hear voices calling their names, faint and distant, as if carried by the wind. Others said they saw figures standing in the darkness watching them, waiting. One soldier, unable to sleep, sat on his bunk staring at the door. Sweat dripped down his face as he whispered to himself,
"It's just my imagination. It's just my imagination."
But it wasn't. At the end of the hallway, a shadowy figure stood motionless, its head tilted slightly, as if observing him. The soldier froze, his breath caught in his throat. And then, in the blink of an eye, the figure was gone. There were rumors that Unit 731 was cursed, that the spirits of the dead lingered, trapped in an endless cycle of suffering. A soldier wrote in his diary, "They are watching me. I can't sleep. I can't breathe." The words were scrawled in shaky handwriting as if written in panic, but he wasn't the only one. Many believed the facility was haunted, that the dead had not left, and perhaps they never would. When the war ended, Unit 731 was dismantled. The buildings were burned, the evidence destroyed, but the horrors that happened there were never fully revealed. Many of those responsible escaped justice. Some were even recruited by other nations, eager to use the knowledge gained, no matter the cost. But the shadows of Unit 731 never disappeared. Some say the spirits of the victims are still there, trapped in that place. Others believe the experiments never really stopped, that somewhere in the shadows, the horrors of Unit 731 continue. What is more terrifying, the things we know, or the things that remain hidden? Unit 731 was a place of unimaginable cruelty, a place where humanity was stripped away, replaced by darkness. But the question remains, do you really think it's over?